Are the Sock Snob, and we're back with another episode. And look who is back with us. We have Holly.
Hey, Holly.
Hey, we didn't scare you away with the last episode.
I was shocked.
Okay, it's all right. Well, we're gonna bring this one back around. So aside from Holly on my right, I also have RJ. I've known you for a long time, haven't I?
No, always.
Right. So, and then my girl, my sister Janita, who is sitting next to my brother from another mother, G. All right, so we want to talk about something more serious this time, if that's all right. Boycotting and protesting. So there's obviously been a lot of it, and people protesting a lot of different things, particularly in our community, African American community, where organizations, people, football players, you name it, have been protesting police violence or violence against blacks by the hands of police, things like that, whatever. Do you think that protesting and boycotting right now, the NFL is a big deal because of the kneeling and so on. Do you think that boycotting and protesting is a thing of the past, you know? And if so, I have a follow-up question to that. So is that our parents' generation and grandparents? Are we done with that? You know, does it work? Is it effective?
I don't think it's done. I don't think it's a thing of the past.
Okay.
Number one, I think that some of the issues that were protested in the past are still issues. And so they still need to be addressed. They still need to be changed. They still need to bring light to the situation. Maybe the methods that we're doing need to be tweaked. But honestly speaking, if we were to boycott or come together as we once did, I think that it's still a very good tool.
Do you think it's a fair comparison? Because when we think about things like, there are a lot of African Americans who are saying we are not watching the NFL until the NFL does better. Obviously, things like Colin Kaepernick, who ended up not being, what do you call it, re-signed or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a fair comparison to things like the Montgomery bus boycott? The Montgomery bus boycott was in Montgomery. This NFL boycott is nationwide.
Well, we have to look at the times. You know, now we have, social media. So we can actually gather people, what I'm saying, by the thousands and tell them, we're going to be here to do this. Whereas during the times of our parents and our grandparents' generation, everything was word of mouth or went through the church.
Right.
But at that time, they were still able to organize thousands upon thousands of people.
They were, yes.
During that time, it was good for what it was. Now, if you take today, in today's, and we protest and we march and we shut down Lakeshore Drive, we shut down, the Eisenhower, whatever. How is that impacting, us realistically? Because I look at it as like this. At the times that most of these protests are taking, place after people are getting off work or, things like that, that's the everyday person trying to make it home to their families, cook dinner or whatever. What type of impact is that going to have? Yeah. That's going to make me go home, look at the news, think like, oh, how the fuck I got to, do this or whatever. Yeah. Now, like I said, if you really want to have an impact, on some shit, you go down to that financial district, you shut them down. Yeah. You make it where them bankers and shit can't get into those places, and you watch change happen. But, we protest one day, march the next day, and nothing changed, and then it's done with a week later. You don't hear anything more about it.
The protest itself is not the end all, though. So wherever the protest is only a moment in time within that movement. So the bus boycott did not only end with the boycott. You had to then
almost a year or so.
Well, it did. However, there was a step, or there were steps taken after that, during that, while that was going to make a change. So it's not the boycott itself.
But the boycott was that we're not going to spend our money with this racist system.
Correct.
And what happened was when black folks stopped taking the bus, those people had to literally come to them and say, what can we do to rectify this situation?
Okay. So now, with the NFL boycott,
yes,
we have black people who still watch. I see, because I don't watch sports, period. But I know damn well I'm not watching now, right?
And I'm a fan, but I've said it.
And you were a huge NFL fan. Now, so we have, when I scroll down Facebook on any given Sunday, is it Sunday and Monday?
Yes.
You see tons of, Bears this or the whoever Vikings this or whatever. Shit, I'm about to start mixing basketball in there in a minute. So there are people who don't look at this as a necessary thing, or I'm not going to stop watching this just because Colin Kaepernick didn't get signed or whatever. He was guard. Did I mess his name up?
Colin
Colin. Brother, I stand. If I had an afro, I'd grow the shit out of your arm. But you know what I mean? So we're not even supporting it.
Well, that's the thing. I think part of it is that some people are behind it and some people aren't. Some people say that black people don't need better treatment, that y'all got enough anyway.
So,
it's the people.
What I'm talking about, black people though.
Right. And some black people feel, oh, I've advanced. Oh, my family is advanced.
Mm-hmm.
So then I don't need this in the same way that maybe you think you do.
Gotcha.
And so we don't necessarily come together on this particular, not only do we not come together on this type of subject, but we also don't come together on the way to protest.
But that's just the house Negro mentality, period. Because if you feel like that your family has just, what do you say, advanced,
right.
Does that make you not black?
Right. Well, right. The whole me generation, unfortunately, and I'm not condoning that at all.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. But you're right, and that's part of why we don't come together enough.
Right, and I think that's what the problem is. Like, I had someone tell me, and you witnessed this, that.
Tell it, girl.
Let me get my ghetto on.
Curl your goddamn neck.
Me. That they couldn't sacrifice watching one Sunday of football.
Yeah.
But yet you had these people who boycotted buses, who boycotted restaurants and places. Miles, like this is not like city blocks. You know what I'm saying? Miles of dirt roads and still got the Ku Klux Klan chasing after you and they beating you up when they catching you carpool with other people and all that. You tell me you can't stop watching one Sunday at football.
You know what that tells me too?
It sounds like you talking to somebody.
People don't.
Shit, you better watch out.
We don't know our history.
Exactly.
So if they always tell me everything was good and that was just a little minor book or something like that, you're like, oh well, this all good. If you don't know from which you came, then what's your purpose?
But you see how sad that is?
Yeah, but
and
some people
even
know when they came, or they know of the bus boycott, but they don't know that it was dirt roads.
That's right, Chief. Give Lucy some camera time.
But
Get
it's
on
not
here.
the money, period.
All right, Lucy.
It's not them to get
Sterling.
and that's whether you black, white, purple, whatever. It's all about that dollar.
Financial.
So, like you said, they had to come and say, well, how can we accommodate you?
Because you're not making our money. We're not getting that money anymore. You losing money, and that's why with Papa John's, that's why with the NFL when the ratings and stuff fail.
Well, I was about to say, and that makes it pertinent. Because if it did not affect anything, then we wouldn't be hearing anything.
All right. So I have a question. So when we compare the two, things like during the civil rights movement, you knew who the civil rights leaders were. Mm-hmm. Who's leading the boycott against the NFL? Name a person.
Well,
besides Colin,
he was the impetus.
Yes, but the boycott did not start until after he did not get signed. So now who's leading? You know what I mean? So I think that's a big difference.
I think people just was like, people just started saying we're going to protest the NFL, and it just took on a movement on its own. And with social media, everything can. Yeah, and I have protesting the NFL.
This is some hood ass shit. Put the church finger up. Go see who the fuck is knocking on this door. Shit. Dogs barking. Shit.
But you would think when we progress with all the technology, all the social media, all the knowledge that we have from them doing it back then and how to improve it to make it better now, you would think
systematic racism.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
it's the way mentality of
systematic racism is one of the things that we're
precisely because right. That should be one of the main things, because if I put policies and procedures in place that's going to keep a person, down or out of their month, or I make it where you can't afford to get a job or anything else, then guess what? You can't do anything. You can't move around. It's systematic racism, which means there's a system. There's levels to the racism. Okay. You might make it past this one, but guess what? We got 3 more syllables before you even get to, the college situation.
To bring this, before we end and close this topic, if protesting and boycotting, it's clearly not working the way it should, because you have, like you said, people who just are not participating.
Not the way it could.
Or exactly.
They don't know the value of if they participated.
Is there something that's more relevant, more useful today?
Financial.
Financial what?
protesting.
Okay.
You look at people.
But see, that's what the boycott should have and could have accomplished. Now, I will say, if I'm not mistaken, viewership for NFL games has dropped significantly. And it's not just, believe it or not, it's not just because blacks are not watching. There are actual non-blacks not watching because of NFL. Well, actually, it's the opposite reason, because they think that the NFL owners are not doing enough to keep these people from kneeling. So they're actually people.
Well, yeah.
Believe
did
it or
you
not.
hear about what happened down in Texas?
Yes, how crazy is that?
You know, the owner said, you know, he said something. He made a reference.
You can't have the inmates running the jail.
Yes.
But
That's off
That's how they look at
but
it.
see, but that's what people don't understand. When you look at all these sports, they're 85-90% African American. Then you have these owners, people of non-color, that's just running everything.
Yeah.
Now, somebody said it. If 10% of those players got together and said, "Fuck y'all, we won't play on any given Sunday. We won't do this or whatever." Guess and it's actually sacrificing something. The Muhammad Ali's of the generation, you probably see more of a change.
Yeah.
But if in that locker room, if I'm that one black person and I'm making, $185 million, and I'll be like, "Look, you need to cut that shit out. Look, that was not what we on.
Yeah.
We try." That's
They
what
made
I got mine. You got right. And
They
what they
made
do, they
an
fire him.
example. Yes.
But had his teammates and people who are close, your teammates, your friends and stuff, and say, "Guess what? This is wrong. We're not going to allow this to happen to this person," and stood next to him. They can't fire you all.
Yeah.
So who gonna be the sacrifice?
And the
That's
bottom-
where the older players stop and say, "Guess what? I done made enough money off this game. It's time for something to change. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna protest in the locker rooms." You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the protests are coming from people from the outside. If the NFL players would step up and say, "This how we gonna do this," they can't fire them all.
All right, so we won't have the answer to this today. I didn't think we would, or tomorrow. We obviously have a lot of work to do. A lot has to be done for more people to stand behind, that type of protest, that type of boycott. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully people understand what the actual issues are. And I'll say this real fast. I was down in Arkansas for work, and I had the same shuttle driver every day. And this is after walking into a restaurant and a guy coming in a damn Confederate uniform who had just finished a battle. I kid you not. But anyway, the shuttle driver, he was like, I don't know how you feel about all this kneeling, but I just think it's disrespectful for our troops. And I'm like, but that's not what it's about, The kneeling was not saying, I don't like the country, I'm standing against the flag or the troops. It was standing against, or doing something. This was a very peaceful protest to say there's something not right about how black people are being treated by the police. That's what it was about. We are being killed at a much higher rate than any other nation. I did see something, a statistic, and it turned out to be clickbait. And it was like Native Americans are actually they have the highest rate of police killings than any other. They are actually higher than blacks. I was like, oh shit, let me read this. Turns out, because it's done per million or something, they literally had over the last few years 20 per year. So so it was not quite the same. So on a wide scale, African Americans are killed by police, I think, much higher rate.
That whole thing just got lost.
Yes.
In the whole process.
Yes.
That point, that very silent, peaceful thing got lost.
Well,
and it
that's
turned to
also
something
the
else.
point.
Almost like
That's
Obamacare
also
versus
the point.
healthcare.
So-
Let me say
go
this.
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because I just feel like people are just missing the whole point. We all know why they're kneeling. Like, this is no surprise. So don't try to take one thing and cover it up. Well, this is disrespectful, and they shouldn't be doing this to the flag.
But-
Stop acting stupid.
Well, I honestly don't think everybody is intentionally doing like that guy.
Yeah.
Probably knows one thing.
You know
He probably
what?
born and raised there, and that's how he
And
don't
that's-
even think that way.
And that's why the boycott has to raise awareness.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We need to
Awareness.
talk
But who
amongst
put
each
that
other.
idea in their head? Where did this idea come from that kneeling was disrespectful?
And the thing is, if
Right.
you think about it,
In fact, remember, Colin Kaepernick spoke with some soldiers first to
Yeah,
say
who
what
told
is
them
the
to kneel.
most
Yeah.
respectful way to protest.
And they-
Exactly. They do that to a fallen soldier, right?
Yeah, and
That was lost.
to really say that this is not about this. So you know how the Navy, Marines, Army all have their various football teams. So there was a photo circulating of the U.S. Army football team all kneeling. These are soldiers who have a football team. The soldiers were not disrespecting themselves, I would imagine.
And let's
So,
just put
you
a
know.
different perspective on it. Back in the day, when the protests first came about, when people kneel, what were they really doing?
Praying.
They were praying. So there are many different ways of quote protesting. We had our athletes at the Olympics
Yeah.
raise their fists with black
Or black
gloves.
gloves on, yeah.
We've had people turn their backs, and now we have people kneeling. What is it that would be done that wouldn't be construed or misconstrued as being disrespectful? It doesn't really matter.
I don't
is
think.
it?
I just wanna ask- I just
When
wanna ask
football
you
players get hurt on the football field,
They
they kneel
stand around, they kneel,
until they
and
get back
pray.
up and they get up.
But the bigger question is, why are we still discussing the same issues as 50 years ago? Why are we still? Why is Colin Kaepernick the Muhammad
His
Ali?
name.
Colin, you know we feel you, bro. Why is he the Muhammad Ali of our generation?
Maybe you can answer that question in comments. Maybe you can tell us what you think. Remember, check us out on YouTube. Just search for the Sock Mob or the Sock Snob. On Instagram, we are the Real Sock Snob. And then I just want to say goodbye to Holly because yes, we do want you back. So.
Y'all want to just highlight that?
Yeah, you better give them them highlights, girl. So, thank you so much for coming.
I enjoyed
All right,
this.
and thank you all always. So, all right, thank you guys for watching. Remember, comment, like, and share this video, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.